Hey everybody, I'm back with another short live stream. I haven't been online much, haven't been streaming much lately, but I wanted to show you some heavy tank rating. So my army is 5 heavy tanks, and oh, you can't see this. It's like 5 heavy tanks, and then I use additional regular tanks for that. I also explored with 6, but this 5 plus a few other tanks actually works a little bit better for me. We have 1 worker. I want to do a few of the walls. Now that we have the discount, I'm using. Oh, this is not a good place for you. How about you go here? Okay. Well, now I don't look at the camera anymore. That's also not great. Let's put you here. Hello. Okay. So, I'm using heavy tank MK5, which is the atomic age heavy tank. Okay. So we want to do a few simple raids. So the like 237 is certainly not gonna go without losses. Okay, so I'm atomic age and I'm using those tanks. I'm waiting for next week for the discount. To go, not the discount as much as the instant upgrade. So I want to save on crowns and go into the new age and the Cold War age as soon as the discount hits. So what I do, and I'm new to this all heavy tank stuff. So what I do is, let's see if we can. This will be the first heavy tank, anti-tank gun that I'll encounter, so I'm pretty much only care about those heavy anti-tank guns. And then I deploy in a line, and usually I try to deploy far away from the anti-tank guns, so that my Air Force can do some work on them. So in this case, I already took quite some damage, so I just have to make sure that the damage to my airplanes gets like distributed nicely among my planes. So this should be fine, I think. And so heavy tank is pretty awesome if you can pull it off without losses. But if you do lose something, then it's usually pretty expensive. So that's kind of the trade-off that you're facing. I want to make sure I don't lose this one tank here. It's kind of like the only. Oh dear! Can we please kill this one? Okay. So now well. That's not great to begin with. So this heavy tank I may actually lose to a trap. Nothing in the base can kill it, I don't think. But if I'm unlucky and it steps on a trap, then this whole raid wasn't worth it at all. Okay, I do want to wait with the plane on that bottom house, because the planes are also pretty low and I don't want them to get further damage, so maybe now is a good time. Okay, now this is 100%, let's go. Let's step on anything. Okay, so this worked out really well. So as you can see, I didn't lose any of the important items. So I didn't lose a heavy tank and didn't use a plane. So these 5 soldiers obviously is very cheap. And I didn't use my tanks. Sometimes the tanks I feel are helping, and sometimes they can't really do much. So I'm still not sure if I should use a 6 heavy tank. But if they do, if the regular tanks I'm talking about, if they do help, then they're actually pretty huge. Then they're a big help. So yeah, let's continue. The nice thing, as I said, is you can just keep raiding until until you either wipe and then it was a very expensive fail, or it actually works out. So this base, what I'm looking for, I mean, a little bit on the level of the anti-tank guns. But also if it has traps and if it has loot. This one doesn't have any loot, so it's certainly not worth it. Yeah, I don't think that heavy tank is necessarily the best way to raid, but it may actually be a pretty good one. Hello, somebody said hi. I don't have any soldiers to drop. This is probably a mistake. What I usually do is I look at the base, and if it's if I don't want to attack it, then I look at the medals. So this one, for example, if I wouldn't attack it for 29 medals, I would certainly drop a soldier here and then just keep going. So I try to do those sort of at the same time, dropping and the medals. So this one, I'm thinking if I should take from the left or from the right. Left doesn't have too much anti-air. Right doesn't have too much anti-air. I think I'll just attack from the right. Let's take out this. Take out this. And then just let those big boys out. So what do we have? Up here we have 2 anti-tank guns, so this should be easy. And for my second plane to come back, let's go. Okay, so other people use oh, they flew from this side, alright. No, I'm not sure about that one. Let's go. Okay. So the tanks themselves are doing fine if I give them enough support. So that's really the job here. And now I want to let those regular tanks out. They can sometimes take a shot, which helps tremendously. Or they'll just clean a few buildings. Okay, this one anti-tank gun is still alive, but now it doesn't have any air coverage anymore, so I can just take it out. And then we have one more to worry about. This one's a bit harder to get to, I guess, by air. So we'll wait for the heavy tanks to clear a little bit, and then and then I'll rally on it, is what I wanted to say, but now I actually can take it out as is, I think. Yeah, don't even need those. Okay. Now this is maybe he did some upgrades, or it's like just inconvenient level that it has like a little shiver of health left. Yeah. So that's that. I will lose some of the tanks. That's usually what happens when I drop the tanks, but it's really not a big deal. And then, yep, that's it. Yeah, and this last heavy tank we won't even need to kill. Let's go. Okay, so again, no losses. I mean, this is a regular tank. This I would consider as not a loss, again, as if it's not a heavy tank or a plane. And you're making quite good loot. I mean, it is a bit inflated right now because we have the additional loot event going on. So if you do this when there's no special, you will probably not get as high of rewards for this. But yeah, you will still not see the losses that you usually have. My regular army, when I was raiding without heavy tanks, would be 4 APCs and 5 howitzers and the rest shooters with 2 healers, helicopter healers, which also works really well. And you can take. So this one again, right? This is an empty base. So as soon as I see the traps, I'm like, let's do this. I also see the loot, which is quite good. Not a lot of oil. And the anti-tank gun, they are a bit weird though. I'm not sure if this is a good base to attack, but I'll try. Let's see. Can we take out one right now? Maybe. This is one. Let me come from here. So what I don't like is that they all like come around the same time, so I won't have I can just take out the anti-tanks one by one. This may be worth it now. Let's make sure my heavy tanks are not distracted. Then let's send one here. And maybe send one here as well. Okay. So this should be the first line of defense, so 3 of them are out. That's good. This one guy took some damage. Yeah, he does have resistance research, so that's an issue. Not really an issue, but it's less convenient than it could be. What about you? Okay, now we will have 2 more left. We have British shooters. They're surprisingly nasty. Oh, what happened? Oh, can I? Okay. So now we have to deal with these 2. I think we'll have to semi-suicide one of the planes. And then focus on that one. Okay. Good. No. So my plane survived. That's good. My heavy tanks may all survive. But the tank, let's see. So there's still a lot to clean up, and when tanks are in good shape. I lost a normal tank, that's fine. No, I did lose a heavy tank already, okay. So yeah, so probably the whole raid was not sure if it's worth it. If you lose something, it usually means it's not ideal, obviously. Okay. Can we kill this? Alright. But if you only lose 1, I mean, you can do heavy tank raids with just 4 heavy tanks instead of 5. That's okay. And you're using one of your factories, you know, it's like all idle right now, so that's not too bad. But now let's see. Yeah, but this heavy tank that uncovers all those factories is actually pretty healthy, so that shouldn't be an issue. We're waiting for that to clear. Alright. So now we have the castle still left, which I think killed most of my regular tanks, but again, that's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, again, so if you're only having 4 heavy tanks, I felt like that's still fine. Obviously 5 is better, but with 4 you can do normal raids. Maybe take a little bit of easier bases. If you only have 3, I feel like it doesn't work as well, nearly as well. Yeah, almost. Oh, there's 1 more gold. For almost nothing to do enough damage, and just everything takes forever. This base even took like pretty long. Yeah, 1 heavy tank loss, so that's not great. So I'm in the slightly lost some oil in this attack, but it did win a good amount of our regular loot. Okay, I'll do 1 more attack, and then maybe I'm back later this afternoon. We'll see. A few things to do this Saturday. But oh, this is my last level 12. So now I'm all caught up with that. I think I now have like full industrial walls, and I still have like more than a week to do my global age walls. They're also discounted. Level 14 is not discounted yet, level 13 is now discounted, and 15 is not discounted yet. And I don't think it will at all, because that would be the Cold War wall, which we won't have a discount for. Alright. So I have 2 more hours of doing some raids, but I'll have to run some errands now. Just waiting on this 1 regular tank and doing 1 more attack. I think it also helps if you have a so what I use as support troops for is to make sure that my tanks like sweep from one side to the other. Without this is way too high. Without being distracted and like having to go through walls all the time. So for that, the transport helps, and the general helps, and the soldiers help, but I don't want to use my general right now because it's upgrading. So if it takes any damage, or it takes enough damage, then I'll lose it for a few days, and I don't want that. But because we have a war coming up, and if I'm lucky, it will actually be usable in the war. So this is a good loot, but I certainly I'm a little bit weaker now. I only have 4 heavy tanks, so I have to make sure the basis gets a little bit easier as well. And they take 40 minutes to train, so if you're on a training blessing, it maybe okay, but even then it's a really long time, so yeah, I think it's better to just take easier and easier bases. Okay, so this one again has a lot of loot, but also has traps still. The good thing about heavy tank, and why I think it becomes more important in the future, is that they don't really care about the missile silo. Does this base have traps? It's really low level. It does have traps, but it has like nothing else that's scary. These two are really take out. This is take out. This is not even an anti-tank gun yet. I think this one will do. This also has good loot. I mean, again, nobody wants to give me oil, but that's what it is. So let's see. Here and here should be good. Yeah. If it wasn't for the discounted walls, I would probably have skipped this base. But since I still have some walls to do, I think it's okay to take a hit on lower oil income, but make sure those walls are finally getting some progress. Okay, so you can also do all this, of course, with 5 strike fighters instead of the transporter, but I think the transporter is actually really nice because it can, of course, it can attack the anti-tank guns, but it can also more easily like clean out the edges so that the heavy tanks can just stay inside. Like here, for example, right? I mean, now they want to go to this readout when really they shouldn't have to this, so that's why I was taking that one out. But you also notice that this base is actually, I think, pretty well designed to defend against heavy tanks, because they cannot shoot over walls at all. So you really have to crush through all those walls, which is obviously not very fast. So this one is a bit dangerous, but I didn't want to wait any longer. I hope. Oh, come on, come back. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this was a bit dangerous because it was well covered by air with the castle behind it. But yeah. Now I'll clean this gold with my strike fighters in a little bit. Actually, now that there's a house, I can do this. I just want to make sure. There we go. And now we can drop this one. Okay, great. So again, these are no losses at all, and you made another 1 million. Not $1,000 is not a lot, but yeah, 1.1 million even. So you can go on with this for a while. What I would do now is I would like keep raiding with 4 heavy tanks and like attack simple bases. I don't want to wipe because that will like I don't want to lose all my troops. Because that's always painful. But I would now go on until I lose 1 or 2 more. And if I would lose 1 or 2 more, and I would just wait for me to be back at 4 or 5 heavy tanks, and then keep going. But that would be a time for me to take a break, or put in a training blessing and all of that. Okay, so again, my armies would be strong enough to do it, but I have to run. Maybe I come back later. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll have another. I'm planning on another live stream when I go to Cold War next week. So maybe keep your eye out on that. And then thanks for watching, and see you next time.